Hello, everyone. Welcome to Bow and Arrow Tarot. I hope that I am live. Let's get right into it, everyone. Oops, gotta turn my volume down. All right, so hello, everyone. Welcome to Bow and Arrow Tarot. We're gonna get right into the Cancer Weekly. Before we do, just letting you all know that this month, actually, I'm giving away this deck, the Beautiful Creatures tarot deck and guidebook set. It's a beautiful, beautiful deck. You'll see me use it in a reading today. And all you have to do is be subscribed to my channel and just leave me a comment somewhere letting me know that you're interested in being in the drawing. Okay. At the end of the month, I'll announce the winner, and that's it. You have to come back to my channel and check it out. See the winner video, see if your name is called, and then contact me with your details so I can send you the brand new deck. All right, guys, let's get right into it. I'm going to pull out some oracle cards for your week, Cancer. And this is from my Spirits of Darkness and Light deck. Beautiful deck, which I'll be using for my Love Oracle cards from now on. This is the Twin Flames deck, so Mystic Moon deck. You gotta check her out. She's on Etsy and on YouTube. All right, Cancer, let's see what your week might be like. Readings have been really powerful lately, like with this running theme. Hasn't changed. So straight out, we have Spirit of Mermaids, Beauty, Freedom, Spirit of the Pentacle, Faith, Unity, and Wholeness, symbol of the coven, as it were, and Spirit of the Jester. All right, so the Jester, the Trickster, the Hustler, the Thief. This spirit has come out a couple of times now, interestingly enough. So Spirit of the Mermaid, Spirit of the Pentacle, and Spirit of the Jester. Let's see here. See if I can get these up on the camera a little closer. I love these cards. They're really beautiful. All right, guys. So these are your 3 oracle cards. Beauty, faith, unity, and yet there is a jester there. There's a trickster. So some of you may be dealing with the trickster this week, right? You may be dealing with someone who is not honest, right? Someone who maybe is playing games on you. We're going to see what it's all about when we get into your animal spirits. The Jester. It's funny. This is one of the cards that's starting to show up a lot from this deck. All right, so let's get into your animal spirits for the week, guys. And see what kind of animal spirit Cancer is going to be dealing with. Animal spirits can come in a number of ways. There's been some powerful animal spirits around lately. A lot of spiritual awakenings and realizations happening. All right, let's get right into it. Straight out, the mouse. Wow, running around, task oriented, here and there. The mouse gets very overworked. Not surprised. Earth energy. Not surprised to see the mouse. It's interesting. A lot of people are inside right now, but honestly, people are getting a lot of stuff done, aren't they? The hummingbird. Spiritually resourceful, air energy, beautiful. I love the hummingbird. And we have the earthworm. Earth energy. So the earthworm, really talking about being out of your element. The novice. The earthworm is the animal spirit for the novice. The person who is really new, coming into an area, and just feeling very sort of exposed, right? When you feel like, man, everybody's got their eye on me. I know I'm new at all of this, but man, it's like, what I'm saying? All right, let's get right into it. Before I pull out the spreads, let me review your animal spirits really quickly, a little bit more in depth. Yeah, the mouse. Here we go. Earth animal spirit, talking about running around, right? So many stories about the mouse chasing its own tail. And so this animal spirit is very much the same. We're talking about a feeling of having a lot to do, and really being caught up in that and forgetting the bigger picture. This is a lot of times like when you have, You have perhaps a project or an objective that you're trying to achieve, Cancer, and then you just have so many different tasks that you need to get done. And those of you who are in the bar industry, we call it the weeds, right? Being in the weeds. It's like you have so much to get done, you have no idea anymore where the beginning is, where the end is. You're just really, really caught up, and it can be a feeling of really being overworked, and confused, right? Just not knowing, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this task and that task? And it can be a feeling of worry that starts to come in as well for the spirit of the mouse, because he begins to sort of lose touch of why he's doing all of these things, because he doesn't see the bigger picture. If you're resonating with this, or somebody is resonating with this, but certainly if you are a Cancer, you're overworked, take a moment to step back. Take a moment to step back, and just think about, what is your objective. Just pull back from all the little details and go back to the big picture. Look at your objective of what you're trying to achieve, and slowly step back from everything, and then review everything that you're doing to try to see where it belongs in this bigger picture. Take some time off, take a day off. At the end of the day, a lot of us, we rush, right? And now some of us, we're being forced to stand still, right? Because we're not allowed to go out, we're inside. And yet some of us are still fretting, right? Some of us still fretting, and some of us still have a lot of work to do. And it's even more pressure now because of the added sort of restrictions and limitations and the fears. It still means that you can take time off for a minute to just hang on and take a, get your bearings again, calm your spirit down a little bit. Hummingbird comes in. Hummingbird is air animal spirit, and this is the perfect energy to come in for somebody who's resonating with mouse energy, actually, because the hummingbird is very helpful. Right? The hummingbird is an extremely hardworking animal spirit. It's an animal spirit that comes in, it's helpful, it loves to help. What does the hummingbird do every day? It goes out and it finds nectar, right? Hummingbirds are geniuses, right? They're experts at it. They know exactly where to go, what garden, what flower, when, to tap that flower for the best nectar. And we talk about nectar being manna from heaven, right? Food for the soul. And so the spirit of the hummingbird is symbolic of the nectar. Someone, either someone or an energy or an experience coming into your life that is feeding your soul, right? That feels like, this is what I needed. It could be an individual as well. Sometimes people resonate with the spirit of the hummingbird. And this is the type of person that whenever you're around them, they make you feel better. They make you feel more rejuvenated. This is the type of person who never draws on your energy. In fact, you feel like they feed your energy. When you're done talking to them, you're energized spiritually, you feel good emotionally, and a lot of times you're kind of ready to go take care of something. Your mind is energized. This is an air elemental spirit. So we're talking about energizing the mind. Such a strong animal spirit, the hummingbird. And also associated with someone or an individual who works very well in a group, because they're so hardworking and they are so, I want to say, willing to lend a hand, always willing to give. This is the perfect energy for somebody who's working in a group, working in the community, right? You may be doing community work, you may be doing social work or something like that. You may be working with somebody in that area. I wouldn't be surprised if you have people who resonate with the spirit of the hummingbird. She's tireless and yet still very spiritually rejuvenating. Hello, Lauren. All right, so the earthworm is next, right? Earthworm is, of course, earth energy, but the earthworm is someone who is just beginning something, right? Just beginning a journey, perhaps a particular creative journey, a particular career journey. And oftentimes you feel really sort of under, the magnifying glass. Everyone is looking at you. It's a feeling of just wanting to crawl right back into the earth, honestly. You know what I mean? That's the spirit of the earthworm, that feeling like, oh God, I don't want to face this. I don't want to face these people. I feel, vulnerable. I feel like, I feel like I'm the worst one here. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm new. It's that feeling of really being out of your element. Some of you may indeed be in a new social scene or social area, right? You may be, I'm going to say, doing a new kind of work or a new kind of art or a new kind of, there's something new that you're doing, but because you're new at it, you're feeling very, very sort of uh, not down or anything like that, but you're just feeling a little shy, very nervous, right? And I can tell you this: earthworm energy passes. Everyone goes through being the earthworm at some point in their life, right? Because everyone's new at something in their life. Everything in your life was new to you at one point or another. So we all go through it, and it's not something that you're gonna. Oh, thank you for that, Lauren. Thank you. Love my tattoo. And it's not something that you're going to stay with forever. It's something that you're going to go through, and eventually you're going to find your feet and you get better at it. And it's just not an energy that stays, but it is an overwhelming feeling that can happen at times. Right. So it's just some of you are going through that. All right. So let's get right into your spread. Still looking at that spirit of the mermaid, spirit of the pentacle, and spirit of the gesture. I'm going to come back to that and see what that has to do with your reading. Oh, the cards are really jumpy tonight. Let's get ready to cut this deck in a minute. These cards are beautiful, but they're difficult to shuffle because they're so big. So I do a lot of the shuffling off air because it's so loud. All right, guys. Straight out, we have Ten of Swords, 10 of Pentacles, wow, and 4 major arcana, the Emperor. Well, what can I say, Cancer? Some of you, this is definitely a new start. This is, it's strange. It's a new start. It's the ending of something. It's the pinnacle of something. It's the dominance. Some of you have definitely achieved dominance somewhere in your area, your field. I'm going to say this is definitely in the area of your career. It's 10 of Swords, 10 of Pentacles, and the Emperor is how you round off your week. So generally, the weekly readings is how you come in, what you resonate with during the week, how the energies during the week affect you and how you round off your week. But this also just looks like an overall read to me for what some Cancer is going through out there. There's a Cancer out there right now that is absolutely coming to the end of struggling and coming right into a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of money. 10 of Swords is finality in this deck. 10 of Pentacles is called the legacy card. And a lot of times in the traditional tarot, we look at the 10 of Pentacles as that card where the grandfather's sitting there very kingly, the children and the dog and the couple, and it's like this kind of money, the kind of money that we will call old money, the kind of money that sustains a family, that sustains a line, that sustains a legacy, right? So this is 10 of Pentacles, and in this deck, that's why it's called, I'm trying to get the glare off so you can see it's called the Legacy card. So it's a perfect, 10 of Swords and 10 of Pentacles are perfect to come in together at the same time, because it indicates a huge shift and a quick shift. I would say some of you might have gotten an inheritance. This would be an inheritance, absolutely, an inheritance or a sort of, could be a windfall, but I don't want to say like a lottery or anything like that, because generally when I'm reading, me personally, my energy and the way I read, if I'm reading about abundance coming in, it's abundance you've worked for. It's abundance that you have worked for somewhere in your life. It's karmic abundance. It's not, I'm not one of these people who can tell you, oh yeah, tomorrow you're going to hit the lottery. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? I'm an intuitive reader. So I don't pull or focus for messages like that, so they don't come into me, right? Because that's not my focus. So when I talk about 10 of Pentacles energy coming in for you, I'm specifically talking about either money coming in or abundance coming in that you have been working towards, or abundance coming in by virtue of an inheritance, which is different than a lottery, of course, but it's inherent, like a family. Something has happened in the family, or the family business has suddenly, skyrocketed, right? or, something about something coming to fruition that is meant for you, that is destined for you, and that is destined for you by virtue of your life. Either something has happened as part of your sort of, your genetic connection and spiritual connection to your family. So like something like that. Or for some of you, this is just, I want to say suddenly I'm going to perhaps like a business, right? For some of you, it could very well be a business that suddenly has gone viral, like overnight. And I'm going to say Emperor energy is how you round off. You came in with 10 of swords, and this is what I'm saying. This is such a strong read that it's not even so much like how you come into the week and during the week, and this is one big energy for the week for a Cancer out there. And I'm going to say I'm not surprised, because at a time like this, in the world, when we have this kind of chaos, and I was saying this in my last video, when we have a lot of chaos and we're in what we consider to be very difficult times, and for some of us it's times of suffering, right? And that can't be discounted. But chaotic times are sometimes the times that some of our stars rise, because it's like your moment, because for whatever it is, there is a need. Suddenly there's a certain need, or there's a certain requirement that you can provide, either by skill or by what you're already doing. Or it can be at times like this that a very small business suddenly does very, very well. Of course, a lot of businesses, a lot of people are suffering right now, and I don't want to like I said, I don't want to discount that. But this reading here is definitely talking about somebody out there who, despite all of everything that is going on right now, is having an excellent week, at an excellent time. And of course, you round off as the Emperor because you're the one in charge. It's your baby, it's your project, it's your business, right? Or what have you, right? And it absolutely puts you in a power position as well. So again, this is definitely going to be someone, I believe, who's definitely worked also. 10 of Swords talks about the end of a long period of struggling, right? So some of you have really struggled for a long period of time, and then just this has come about. And this is why you are the Emperor as well by the end of this time, because you deserve to be the Emperor, right? You deserve to be the Emperor because you've really paid your dues and you have worked your way up to the top and worked your way up to this success that's coming in. Emperor is a card for sovereignty in this deck. So, also in general, Emperor talks about bringing order to chaos. This is a very chaotic time right now. Order to chaos. So being productive and flourishing during a time of chaos would be a way of bringing order to chaos. It is an order of a sense, right? Because it is working. And also the Emperor brings with him, of course, abundance anyway. So beautiful read for some of you. I had to take a moment with that one. It's very strong. Tower, again. Tower's showing up for almost all the readings so far this week. So Tower, King of Swords, and Four of Wands. Well, some of you are coming into this week. In this card, the Tower is called the Decadence or Abruption. And it's a shocker, right? It's a shocker. But you wound out your week, honestly, with the Four of Wands. I'm looking ahead. So it's a shocker in a very good way, right? I'm going to say that for some of you, you may have someone coming into you this week that is absolutely shocking that they will come into you. There may have been some kind of Tower event, right? Some kind of realization. And what exactly is a Tower event? I mean, sometimes we have to really review it because we take it for granted, seeing it in the tarot and on the readings, that it's such a shocker. But the Tower event is an event, of course, where you have an experience. You're having some kind of experience or some kind of event comes into your life that gives you information, right? That just tears apart everything you held on to, everything you believe to be true about something. Not necessarily everything in your life, but some area in your life, what you believe to be 100% true and what you were also making decisions based on and living your life based on to a certain degree, you find out maybe you had it wrong. You have an experience that totally contradicts that. And that's the moment of the tower. That experience that contradicts that. That's the lightning bolt that comes in and cracks the tower. And it's so jarring because we identify with the things that we believe in. So when something comes in like that, it hits us to the core. And it affects us in so many different ways. And a lot of us, it can be very disruptive. But you're having this tower event, Cancer. You wound out your week though with a Four of Wands, which is that perfect unity and a love connection. So this tower event is that happy kind of thunderbolt that comes in. Sometimes we hold on to things that are unhappy. If we hold on, sometimes certain parts of our tower, maybe one part of our tower could be this idea that maybe you're in love with somebody and you've also held on to this idea that you two are just never going to be together. That idea that you believe that you two are just never going to be together, it's just never going to work out, or they're never going to love you, right? And that idea that you're holding on to, that is, let's call that an office in your tower, because that's part of your tower. It's part of your belief system, and you go through life with this belief system. But yet, this is an example of a time when suddenly something happens and you find out this person you've been in love with maybe does love you, or they do love you, or they're coming in, and oh my God. And that will be an event. That's still a tower moment, but it turns into something really shocking and also quite beautiful. In the middle of the week, you have a King of Swords, which is a lot of logic coming in. A lot of dominance, though, also, I'm going to say. So for some of you, I don't know if this person, I feel like this King of Swords here is a person coming in for you. It could be a very domineering person. It doesn't matter if they're male or female, because my readings, by the way, of course, are gender neutral. I don't even know if I need to say that, but I guess you still need to say that kind of thing nowadays. Gender neutral, right? So we're just talking about energies. It doesn't matter what your gender is or your orientation, sexual orientation. King of Swords can absolutely be a woman too, but it will be a very domineering woman, a very powerful woman, a woman who's very logical, bam, 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 and that's the King of Swords. So this week there is this kind of feels to me this conversation is happening. There is a conversation that's going to happen because of course the King of Swords is going to require a conversation, right? They don't just feel their way. King of Swords, of course, is going to be somebody. So there's a conversation, a meeting or event or something that comes in on the heels of this tower event, whatever it is. And it leads to this sudden unity, Four of Wands, in a love connection. I feel like it's got to be somebody I'm going to say that because why else would you have that tower? I don't feel like that Four of Wands is somebody new. Although Four of Wands is Venus in Aries energy, and that Venus in Aries does, sometimes imply that it could be a new relationship or relationship that has newly gotten to this level. But I think this is definitely somebody and a connection that's coming in a very shocking way. But through conversations and discussions this week that take a very sort of, I want to say, not aggressive, but very direct, right? Somebody is going to be very direct. And it's interesting, King of Swords is the truth sayer as well. He seeks truth in all things. And you do have the spirit of the jester there. So somebody might be tricking around this week, and this might be why the King of Swords is coming in. There may be somebody who's playing some games or who's interfering with somebody. This jester could be part of this tower moment because, of course, the jester energy is going to backfire on whoever's bringing that energy in. But it could be games at play that somehow force you to end up having a conversation with someone because there's still going to be a conversation. Some of you are definitely going to have this conversation. So it could be some kind of game over here, some tower event that causes or forces a conversation, and the outcome ends up being this great unification. All right, Seven of Pentacles. Wow. Five of Cups. Regret. Oh, man. And Knight of Pentacles. Well, these three cards have been showing up a lot. This is the last spread for you guys. So Seven of Pentacles showing up all week also, Cancer. I hope the volume and the sound is okay, guys. I'm just streaming blind here. So please, Lauren, if you're still there, let me know if the volume is all right, or if anybody has a problem, let me know if the volume's all right. Seven of Pentacles has been showing up all week for the readings. Last week for the readings, it's been there. Seven of Pentacles. Everyone's going through it. right? Progress. In this deck, it's called progress. And a lot of times I talk about Seven of Pentacles being that feeling. Oh, thank you, Lauren. I appreciate it. Being that feeling of, I'll tell you, in the traditional deck, the Seven of Pentacles is the one where the man is standing there on the hoe and he's looking on his garden, and it's like a bush, it's a hedge with the Seven Pentacles in the hedge. And he's just leaning on his hoe, and he's obviously been tending to his garden, and he's looking at his Seven Pentacles very contemplatively. And I call that card sometimes the card of sort of, disappointment also sometimes, but here it's called progress. It's because you take a moment to look at what you've achieved, right? Seven of Pentacles is this feeling of taking a moment to look at what you've achieved, everything that you've worked for, right? And just taking a moment saying, damn, is this it? You know what I mean? Excuse me, is this the progress? Is this as far as are these the rewards I expected to have for all of this work that I've put in? And in this deck, it's called progress. They call this card progress. And I think it's also that too. It's a kind of reevaluating to check your progress. How am I achieving what I set out to achieve? Have I achieved my ultimate goal? Am I halfway there? Am I not there? And it's a real reevaluation of where you're at in life. And a lot of times it's a reevaluation of your career, your business, and your desires, your goals. A lot of times this happens because during the course of our lives of working towards our goals, we change. We change as people. As we're living our lives, right? As we're living our lives, say you have a certain career. And when you were in your 20s, you had this goal for your life. I want to have this career. I want to achieve this, this, and this. And it includes a house and this, and this, and this, and certain material gains, maybe certain career gains, right? And you go through your life and you work towards that, right? But during the course of working towards that, you have a lot of experiences that change you. And then when you finally achieve some of the goals that you set out to achieve, sometimes we find ourselves looking at it and saying, okay, well, now I'm here. Is this what I wanted? Hi, Nikki. How you doing? Nikki Forster, a regular. Hey, girl. You look, you say, damn, is this what I wanted? I remember wanting this so bad 10 years ago. And now that I'm here, I don't know if I want it anymore. Is this really what I want for the rest of my life? And all of this energy that I'm trying to describe to you that I'm feeling right now through this message is Seven of Pentacles energy, that reevaluation. Some of you are going through that right now. And I went in a little deeply here with this card because it's because of the experiences that you've been having along the way and the fact that you are fundamentally changing as a person that we go through this. And it's a good thing. And a lot of us are going through it. And I say this because Seven of Pentacles is a card that has been showing up for almost all the zodiac signs the last couple of weeks in my readings for my collective, which means my collective, the people that my readings are for, that I would imagine you are here watching now for a reason. Something has drawn you here, right? So there's a message here for you. And when I see that the running theme for all my readings is similar, then I know that my collective has been drawn here to hear this. And a lot of you are reevaluating your career. Five of Cups is energy of regret that you have coming into this week. So some of you, on the heels of this reevaluation, you have an experience that you had this week, and it causes you to have some feeling of, in this deck, it's called regret, the Five of Cups. Going back in, and generally Five of Cups is really just this internal power struggle that we have when we think about an event in our past that we just can't quite get over because it just didn't go down the way we wanted it to go down. It's not necessarily so much regret, and it can be regret. Five of Cups can be very, very sort of heavy, right? Depending on the reading, but I don't think it's that heavy here. I think it's just kind of a feeling on the heels of this reevaluation that you're going through, and you round off, by the way, with a Knight of Pentacles. So this puts a fire underneath of you, Cancer. So it rounds off very good for you. However, on the heels of this new reevaluation, this kind of self-check-in for yourself with your life, your progress, your career, Something happens this week and it makes you really think back on a decision that you had in the past. And now that you're reevaluating yourself and your life's path a little bit, and you're a different person now. This event that you're now going back to, that you're going back to sort of with this hindsight and kind of this melancholy, this regret that maybe if things had turned out a little bit better, if you had made a different decision, maybe things would have, you know what I mean? It's that kind of hearkening back to a memory. It's a kind of a feeling. And I think it really puts a fire underneath of your behind, because you round off with a Knight of Pentacles. I think for some of you, you're going to get a second chance, right? To make something happen that maybe you let go before. So let me be clear. For some of you, it may not be exactly the same opportunity that you had before, but it'll be, in essence, the same circumstances happening again, perhaps, right? The same sort of circumstances, maybe the same set of decisions or set of circumstances that you were in before, that you made a certain decision. Some of you are going to find yourself in something similar this week or now in your life, right? And this week. And this kind of thinking back that you're having and this reevaluating that you're having, some of you, you're going to make a different decision this week, and you round off with Knight of Pentacles, which is all about a goal. The Knight of Pentacles gets a goal in his mind, and he works and he works and he works and he works until he gets to it. So some of you are finding your goal. And this is why I took a moment to go through this particular last spread, because it feels really strong to me. Just as you begin to reevaluate where you're at now, you start to have kind of this like, I'm not so happy anymore, right? I'm not so satisfied with what I'm getting back, whatever it is. It might be that you're not happy with what you're getting for the work you're putting in. You may not even be happy with what you're getting. You may not even want that kind of work, whatever the case may be for you. But just on the heels of that, and this kind of like even dip that you have this week, something really magical happens here. And there's a great opportunity here, right? Spirit of the Pentacle, Knight of Pentacles. There is I want to say a synergy here where if you pay attention, you'll find yourself in the same situation. And instead of wallowing sort of in the past, which I don't think you do, if you look out for this and you realize, hey, you know what? I've got another chance here to make a different decision. Life is giving me this set of circumstances all over again. And now that I'm realizing that I'm not, maybe I'm not so happy with where I'm at now, or maybe I have achieved all my goals and I want something new. Whatever the case is, that for you here, you round off your week with a whole new sort of path with this Knight of Pentacles, and a whole new opportunity for you to sort of follow down something that you have, for some of you have wanted to do before, or are now feeling like, wow, thank God I get another chance. For some of you, it may be a brand new thing. But it's a very interesting week. So I'm going to say this. If you're resonating with this and you have that little dip this week, if you resonate with this feeling, okay, and you know what I'm talking about with the Seven of Pentacles and everything, and you resonated with what I'm talking about in terms of your experience, if you have that little dip this week with that Five of Cups, try not, just be conscious in it. Just realize it. Just focus your consciousness and say, oh yeah, you know what? This is that dip. This is that feeling, where I'm thinking about it. I'm feeling a little bit bad about it. Okay, so now if I'm feeling like this and this is what's happening, then let me think about what's going on in my life right now. There's an opportunity where I can turn this around. If you think of it this way, you will come out with this Knight of Pentacles. You will find that opportunity and you'll be able to take it and go with it. This is what I talk about a lot of times in my videos about being intentional, even when you're being emotional or even when you're going through something very difficult. If you can tune your focus or your mind to have a conversation with yourself while you're going through those feelings, and to say, yeah, I know I'm going through these feelings, but this is, also to be very intentional and aware. You can look around and focus your attention wider and get a deeper message from your experience. You may be able to see something that is feeling bad, and you may be realizing, oh, actually, this is an opportunity. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it at that, Cancer. This is your weekly reading. Thank you so much, everyone, for bearing with me during my technical difficulties these last couple of days. I can't just run out to the store and get a new camera. I have to order stuff, and yada, yada, yada. So I love you very much, Cancer. Please do not forget, folks, that this is the tarot deck that I'm giving away on my channel this month, the one that I'm using for my weeklies. I'm giving it away this month to a lucky subscriber, and all you have to do is be subscribed on my channel. Leave me a comment somewhere letting me know that you are interested in the drawing. And then most importantly, at the end of the month, April 30th, check back on my channel if you're the winner. I can't contact you. I can't send anything to you. I can't, until you email me, until you contact me. So nobody who has a creator channel or does videos on YouTube can just contact their subscribers. You guys have to email us first. So check back at the end of the month and check that video and see if your name is the one that's called out. And then all you have to do is email me at bowandarrowtarot@gmail.com and give me your details so I can have the new Beautiful Creatures Tarot deck and guidebook box set shipped out to you. All right, guys. All right, Cancer. Thank you so much. I love you so much. Thank you for watching this video. I'm going to take a little break, and then I will be back with Leo. Bye-bye, guys.